Loving Sai Ram and greetings from Prashanthi Nilayam. This is my fifth talk in the current series on Musings on Valmiki Ramayana, and we are now approaching the end of the Balakandam, which is the first of 6 kandams that make up Valmiki Ramayana. Let me make it clear that in counting only 6 kandas, I am sticking to the more orthodox tradition where the 7th kandam, namely the Uttarakandam, is excluded. When I broke off last time, I was narrating what happened towards the end of the marriage of Sita and Rama in Mithila. Sage Vishwamitra, who played a leading role in bringing Rama and Sita together at the worldly level, said to Dasaratha, "O Emperor, I presume you understand at least now why I came to your court and insisted that Rama alone should assist me and not you, even if you came along with your entire army. These events did not happen by themselves, but by divine dispensation. Life is always like that. Immersed in ego, we think we are the masters of our destiny, whereas in truth, we are mere puppets in the hands of God. The wise understand that and gladly submit themselves to divine will, whereas the ignorant try to go against the tide and thereby create a lot of unnecessary troubles for themselves." Vishwamitra continued, "As for me, my role in the current divine drama was twofold. The first was to announce to the Rakshasas that Rama is here, which I did by asking him to protect my yajna. The second was to pave the way for this sacred marriage, which was truly made in heaven. My particular mission in this divine drama is now over, and I have done all that I was supposed to. I confer abundant blessings on all of you, and I now wish to withdraw to the sacred mountains to contemplate in solitude the glory of the Supreme One." That was how Vishwamitra took leave of those assembled in Janaka's court after the conclusion of the 4 royal weddings. As soon as the sage left, Dasaratha also made preparations to return to Ayodhya. Even as goodbyes were said and elaborate leave-takings were going on, Emperor Janaka made sure that Sita was going to her new residence with an abundance of royal gifts. And as a sign of his great respect for Dasaratha, Janaka personally accompanied his royal guests quite some distance before turning back and returning to Mithila. After Dasaratha's party had travelled some distance, the emperor felt he was beginning to see some ominous signs. Sharing his concern with sage Vasishtha, Dasaratha said, "O Holy One, suddenly I am beginning to see many disturbing signs. Birds are making unusual noises as if they are frightened, while animals around here are behaving in a strange manner. My body is trembling and my mind is full of worry. Here we are returning after such a glorious wedding during which all my sons got married, and now all of a sudden there seems to be some danger lurking around the corner. Is there really some danger ahead of us? And if so, how should we prepare ourselves for it?" Sage Vasishtha replied, "You are right, O king, and indeed there are many inauspicious signs signaling obstacles ahead. However, there is no need for any great anxiety because these disturbances would pass." Even as Vasishtha was speaking these words, there arose a terrific gust of wind tearing huge trees from their roots. Meanwhile, dark clouds blanketed the sky, while a thick haze of dust cut down visibility severely. While all this was going on, striding through the storm, came the towering figure of Parasurama, the son of Jamadagni, armed with a bow and an axe, looking very angry and fierce. Vasishtha and the other sages in the party understood in a flash who it was that was obstructing their path, and they began to say amongst themselves, "Long ago, Parasurama's father was killed by a Kshatriya. Swearing revenge, Parasurama has since then killed many Kshatriyas. By now his anger should have subsided, but it looks as if it has not yet been extinguished. At any rate, he no longer has any justification to continue to bear a grudge against Kshatriyas. It's a mystery why he continues to be in such a foul mood." Intending to calm Parasurama, the Brahmins in the royal party greeted him with all the courtesy prescribed in the scriptures. Paying hardly any attention to all this, Parasurama simply turned to Rama and said, "O son of Dasaratha, I have heard about the great feats you have performed. I have also come to learn that you have broken the famous bow of Shiva. These are indeed amazing achievements. Becoming aware of these feats, I have come here with this bow given to me by my father to personally test your mettle in combat." By now, Dasaratha was well aware that Rama was invincible and could easily take on any challenger. Yet, his emotions as a father briefly clouded his judgment, causing him to be concerned about Rama's safety. Speaking therefore in a most conciliatory tone, Dasaratha said to Parasurama, "Swami, you are a Brahmin, and therefore by nature you are expected to be kind and compassionate. You have already eliminated many Kshatriya families. Would killing this young prince in any way enhance your prestige and reputation? Why are you angry with him when he has done you no harm? Moreover, are not Brahmins supposed to have conquered anger? This son of mine, Rama, was born after a very long time and after many yajnas. You are a Brahmin whose duty it is to foster the Vedas. Is it proper then for you to engage in warfare, a duty that is reserved for Kshatriyas? Besides, allow me to remind you that at the conclusion of a sacred yagam that you performed, you not only gifted away all the territory that you conquered, but also swore to Indra, the king of the Devas, that you would never bear arms. Finally, let me tell you this. I am so attached to Rama that if anything happens to him, not only me, but indeed all of us would perish. That is how dear Rama is to all of us." Parasurama paid scant attention to the pleas of Dasaratha. Instead, addressing Rama directly, he said, "A long time ago, Vishwakarma made two extraordinary bows. One of them came to Shiva, a bow that you broke some time ago. The bow that you see in my hand is the other bow. Just as the first bow came to human possession via Shiva, this came to me from my father who received it from Vishnu. This bow is as powerful as the one that Shiva once had. I now demand that you prove to me your strength by bending this bow, demonstrating thereby that you are worthy of engaging in a combat with me. Thereafter we shall fight to see who wins." Rama gave Parasurama patient hearing. Keeping in mind that elders were present, Rama said in a soft voice, "O scion of the Brigu family, I have heard a lot about your bravery and accomplishments. I agree that it is the duty of a son to avenge the killing of his father. However, that does not give you the right to insult me. I do not tolerate insults, and I want you to understand that I am fully capable of giving a fitting reply to those who take liberties with me and slight me. And you would get a demonstration of that right now." Even as he finished speaking, Rama, in the twinkling of an eye and with effortless ease, snatched the bow Parshurama was holding, even before the latter could understand what was happening. Having secured the bow, in a flash Rama bent and strung it. In a commanding and forceful voice, Rama then said, "You threw me a challenge, and as you can see, I have met it in full measure. Now let me tell you a few things. You are born in a Brahmin family descended from the famous sage Bhrigu. Moreover, your paternal grandmother is none other than the sister of my Guru, the most respected sage Vishwamitra. I can easily kill you with the weapon I am now holding in my hand, but hesitate to do so for the reasons that I just stated. If you want to remain alive, you have to surrender all the powers you have accumulated thus far through your tapas. Are you ready to do that? What's your answer?" It must be mentioned that the encounter of Rama with Parshurama was a complex aspect of the divine drama. In truth, Parshurama was himself an aspect of the avatar, whose mission was to deliver to Rama the weapon he had carried for a long time. That transfer was effected through an apparent confrontation, the significance of which was known only to a chosen few, which of course included Rama, who acted as if he did not know. It was known to Parshurama, who played the role of a rogue challenger, and it was also known to sage Vasishtha, who always knew everything. Continuing with his play acting, Parshurama, now apparently in a contrite mood, said with great humility, "When I surrendered the earth to sage Kashyapa, I gave him my word that I would not spend one night on this earth. Thus far I have kept my pledge by using my power to withdraw to any other world. I have to continue to uphold that promise. I therefore request you, O Rama, not to ask me to surrender the power of my tapas, which I need at least to go away from here to Mahendra Loka. You should grant me that favor. Beyond that, I do not need any of my powers." Parshurama continued, "It is now crystal clear to me that you are none other than Lord Vishnu himself, for none but he could have handled this bow as you did just now. In fact, right now, if you look up in the sky, the Devas and all the denizens of heaven are rejoicing and celebrating your achievement. Strike me with an arrow using the bow you have taken from me, and I shall, surrendering all my residual powers, leave immediately for Mahendra Loka." Rama did exactly that, bringing to an end the sudden and unexpected encounter with Parshurama, the real purpose of which was to transfer the bow of Vishnu to Rama, to whom it really belonged. Quietly and unseen by others, Rama handed over the bow secured from Parshurama to Varuna, the god of rain, who promptly withdrew, taking the bow entrusted to him. Meanwhile, the skies cleared and the peaceful ambience that prevailed earlier returned. It was time to look ahead and move forward. By way of awakening the members of the royal party to the return of normalcy, Rama, after offering his respects to sage Vasishtha, turned to Dasaratha and said, "Father, the interruption that we experienced is now over. I suggest we resume our journey back to Ayodhya, where your subjects are eagerly awaiting your return." Dasaratha accepted the suggestion, and the royal convoy began to move again. As Dasaratha, the princess along with their new brides, the queen mothers and the rest of the royal entourage entered a gaily decorated Ayodhya, they were greeted by cheering crowds, fanfare of trumpets and Vedic chants by priests. The city wore a festive look with flags, buntings and wonderful floral decorations. Finally, after receiving a tumultuous welcome, Dasaratha and the members of the royal family entered the huge palace complex that consisted of a large number of private residential quarters, including the spacious gymnasium or ladies' chambers. Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi welcomed their new daughters-in-law, namely Sita, Urmila, Mandavi and Sutakirti, to their respective private chambers to show their affection and spend some time with them. Soon, the excitement died down and the daily routine of the palace settled down to the usual pace, everyone without exception being immersed in bliss. One day, Dasaratha said to Bharata, "My dear son, you might remember that your uncle Yudhajit joined us in Mithila. Actually, he had come to Ayodhya to take you along with him to your grandfather's kingdom, Kekaya. Not finding any one of us here, he then travelled to Mithila to join us there. However, finding us busy with the marriage celebration, he was reticent to talk about the purpose of his mission. I think it is time we make him happy by allowing him to take you with him." Shortly after that, Bharata left with his uncle to spend some time with his grandfather, accompanied, of course, as always, by his inseparable companion and brother, Shatrughna. With two of the brothers gone, Rama and Lakshmana intensified their service to Dasaratha, whose cup of happiness now seemed to be not only full but overflowing. Little did the emperor know that destiny was getting ready to introduce an unexpected twist, which of course was a key part of the divine plan, the part associated with the extermination of Ravana. That part of the divine drama begins unfolding in the next segment of Ramayana, namely the Ayodhya Kandam. I shall start dealing with the Ayodhya Kandam in my next talk, but for today, I would like to make a few parting comments, shall I say. The Ramayana is full of incidents that are not easy to understand or follow, the sudden appearance of Parasurama being one. Parasurama is an enigma for several reasons. First is that the manner of his appearance makes him seem like a bad guy. One may say, so what? There are so many bad guys always around, and Parasurama was just one of them. Yes, but the problem is that Parasurama was supposed to be an avatar, and you would surely agree that complicates matters a lot. Firstly, we have two avatars of the same god apparently confronting each other, one of them appearing to be a sort of villain. Secondly, the question arises, to what extent does Parasurama fulfill the objectives of avatars as described by Lord Krishna, who explains to Arjuna when and why God incarnates? We have a tough problem there. Many are the opinions expressed by scholars, but Swami's explanation beautifully overrides them all. I think it would be a good homework for all of you to hunt out what Swami has said and digest the meaning of his remarks. I would, meanwhile, like to draw attention to a remark I once heard Swami make to students during one of those famous Trai sessions that used to be a regular feature of Swami's stay in Vrindavan, back in the good old days, that is. Swami said, and I remember this very clearly, the master always comes with a clear master plan. Some of the plan is in fact actually meant to give a message to people who come much later, in the Kali age, which by the way is running right now. However, when the plan unfolds, the avatar might even act innocent and very human. That, says Swami, is mere play acting. Everything that the avatar says and does have meaning, though much of it may be missed by contemporaries, and some for all time. So what do? Spend all our time debating why the avatar did this or that? No, that is not what we are supposed to do. We try to understand as best as we can at least the simple commands and then do our best to follow those commands. That is what God expects, and I do hope that that aspect would show up and become clear as we go along. Thanks for being with me, and I hope you like what you heard. And I also hope you would join me again next week when we shall start on a new Kandam. Till then, all the best. Jai Sai Ram.